So I watched Obsession last night, and oh boy, oh boy, it was wild. Now, I'm not a big person who likes to watch horror films. I don't know, I just don't like to be scared a bunch. But after hearing what the synopsis plot of it, and I watched the trailer, and I was like, this is actually quite interesting. If you guys don't know, Obsession is basically this guy who, really likes this girl, but you can pretty much get the gist of it that this girl doesn't really have a liking towards him, but he doesn't know that. And the stupid fly, get this fly out of here, dude. Sorry. And, he's trying to work up the courage, and he's having issues because he's just not confident at all. And the girl ends up, basically, spoilers as well. I think she ends up losing like a necklace. So he goes to his store and he's going to try to get this necklace, and he sees this Make-A-Wish thing. It's like a One-Wish Willow or something like that. And he buys it, $6.99. Pretty cheap, dude, for a wish. And he's like, okay. So I think he ends up like riding in the car with her, and, she's like, basically at the end of it was like, do you like me? And he just, like, just like had multiple opportunities to like shoot his shot and just did not. And he basically pulls out this thing out of the box, and he makes a wish that she would love him like more than like anyone, like basically become obsessed with him. And he breaks it, and then she just kind of like goes back to the car, and you can tell something's different about her, but like kind of like fighting a little bit, but you can tell that she's now transformed by this wish. And throughout the movie and such, like in the beginning parts, they're having a cool, nice relationship, that kind of thing, romantic feelings towards each other. But it obviously goes downhill, and she goes crazy, and that's the bulk of it there. Really simple plot, but they just execute it so well. So well. And I think they did not, like, the budget was just like pretty low, like below $1 million or something, right around $1 million. It was like a well-made film, like phenomenally well-made, without like a ton of money being invested into it. They did a phenomenal job. And I'm going to highlight some key points of why this movie is like, you could argue a 10 out of 10 for the amount of like money that was invested into it, for how little it was to what they were able to produce. And with the actors, it was just a really well-made film. Like I can't think of any like really complaints with the movie. It was just so well done. And so I just wanted to make a video on it and like touch up on some things here that just really made it stand out. Now, I do want to preface, if you're on the younger side of things, if you're not like an adult and that kind of thing, don't watch it. Just don't. It's pretty wild. But basically, the first point I just want to highlight here that made this movie so well was the acting performances. Like the main character Bear and Nikki, the actors did such a phenomenal job of playing the characters. It was so well done. Like, Bear is this guy that's just like the modern insecure male that like cannot work up the courage to ask his friend out. Like, I'm sure some of you guys, if you guys watch this video, know like there's someone out there that's like that guy that's in the friend group who likes this person, but the other person looks at them as like a younger brother. That is like the vibe this guy gives. And he stays true to that personality throughout the whole freaking film. And if you really think about it, he makes a wish to basically like go against her free will. He's like basically like a predator, not like the typical predator that you initially think of, but like he's manipulating her free will so he can get his desires achieved. But regardless, that character, as annoying as it was, as he was very cringe, very insufferable, they wrote the character very well, and the actor played it very, very well. Just really well done. And then we get to the female character, Nikki. Phenomenal acting job. That was like, gives me like goosebumps just thinking about it. Like the way how she was able to change facial expressions in a cohesive but just like eye-capturing way, but also changing emotions as well, just like that, was just like phenomenal acting. spoiler here, when they're like at having dinner and the boyfriend Bear confronts her about like, yo, does your dad really have cancer? And she just like, starts to like just kind of sit there and look, and her facial changes are like slowly changing, altering, and then she's just like, no, 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 we're not gonna have this. Why does it matter? And then it's just like, it was just so executedly, I don't think that's a word, but it was so well done that the acting like was just phenomenal. And then if you go to the supporting cast, like obviously the supporting cast, they're the supports. But they played their part really well too. They played the supporting cast role as well. They weren't like them, but they played their part well. They did a good job as well. But the two main characters, they did such an amazing job with the acting. It was really good. Then we get into like the horror aspect of it, and man, they did a really good job of like just the ambiance build up, where you're just kind of like on edge, and you're like, what the heck's going to happen? They had a bunch of like what the F moments, like with like the cat scene and such. You're just like they added different elements of horror, like the ambiance, the psychological, just like with her screaming when he's just laying in bed and he tries to get up and she just screams. It's like, that was terrifying. And then the scene where he wakes up at 3:45, which is like, I think like the witch's hour, like the demonic hour, and you're just like, you see like him look, and I remember when I was watching it yesterday, like it showed it like pan, and I didn't realize at first, but then I looked in the corner and she's just standing right there looking. I'm like, that is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. Like I couldn't imagine dating someone and just waking up and they're in the corner and they're like, I like watching you, you're cute, and I would have to end it right there. But what makes his character so good is because you would think from a realistic standpoint that anyone would leave the relationship, but because he's such like that insecure kind of guy that's like willing to go through so much when he shouldn't be in a relationship with her, he sticks with her. And she does some weird stuff, duct taping a bunch of tape, the cat thing, all that, and he's just like, just stop acting weird. So you might think that's preposterous, but it really does highlight how people can be in real life, just not as exaggerated to this movie, but like I'm sure there's plenty of guys and girls out there that will like let so many things slide, so many red flags slide, just for the sake of staying in a relationship because they like that person so much. And it's just wild. But they implemented it really well into the movie. And another thing that I liked was about the One Wish Willow thing that he did. When he does like the customer support or he goes to the store, they're not like, the characters aren't dense about it. They perfectly understand that like, yeah, you made this wish. You either get someone to make another wish or you die. I really like that because I feel like a lot of horror people be like, or a lot of horror movies just kind of like play like a dense aspect where people are just like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. And it's like, in this movie, they're like, people acknowledge that this thing is legit and you messed with a power and now you have to reap the consequences of be careful what you wish for. And I really like that they didn't like shy away from that they're just, the characters like, yeah, man, you made a choice, you got to deal with it. So like that part was really, really cool. I did like that as well. And just throughout the whole film, it was just so good from like a writing and implementation standpoint, and they execute it so well on a simple plot. It was really good. I don't know if I would say it's the best horror movie out there, but you could definitely argue. You could argue it's like a top 5, top 10, probably. Like, I mean, you have movies like Hereditary, which I think Hereditary was more scary than this movie, but for the amount of budget they had and what they were able to accomplish, just right up there in the same bracket and level as Hereditary. It's really good. It's really good. So I just want to make a video on this. And I also watched The Backrooms. I'll talk about that one as well. Give myself a review, or give a review for you guys. So if you guys like this, give me guys your thoughts. What scared you the most? What you thought was just really cool from a writing standpoint. Just seeing it, just how the plot was implemented and just the writing and all that. Even if you're not a horror fan like me, just being able to watch and appreciate just how they implement it was just so well done. But you guys all have a good one, and bye-bye.